Welcome back to Stepfamily Saturdays with your Stepfamily guides. We are here to lead you through the everyday challenges of your stepfamily journey. With me today are my fellow stepfamily guides, Amelia and Amy. If you haven't been with us before, we encourage you to go take a listen to episodes 1 through 4. We dove into the topic of the ex and everything from the stepmom's feelings to how your partner is feeling and his or her perspective, the stepmom biomom relationship, and what to call the step parent. So there is a lot there. Today, we are going to dive into an open discussion about navigating Mother's Day as a stepmom. And oh boy, can this be a lot. Oh, the feels you can feel is how we were talking about this. There are so many, from I'm good without the acknowledgement to I'm expected to be mom half of the time or some percentage of the time, and yet I don't get any of the recognition or reward for it. With that said, if you take nothing else away from this, please know that whatever you feel is valid and real, and you should not be diminished or diminish yourself. So with that, let's dive in. How do you handle Mother's Day? What does that look like? What are your suggestions, tips, and strategies for those that you coach in these situations?
Well, for gift giving, for us personally in our family, we always have ensured that my stepdaughter has something to give her mom. I believe, if I remember correctly, sometimes it has been a craft, but other times we've gone and bought flowers or let her choose something. I'll be honest that I have struggled at times with it because it does make me uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, you know, I always remind myself that my husband and myself, we do this for his daughter. It's not for my husband to give his ex-wife a gift or a card. And I think that that is something that some people can get really hung up on is, you know, well, you know, I don't want my husband buying his ex a gift. And it's not, your husband is not buying his ex-wife a gift. They're doing it for the child and showing the child how to, you know, show appreciation to their parent, whether it be a bought gift or a made gift or what have you. So I think, again, we spoke about this before, about taking our egos out of it. This is another situation where you really got to just step back and take the egos out of it, because that can just make things a whole lot worse.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that just removing the ego from all things step and blended families is the safe way to go, because it can be so detrimental to the decisions we make and how we treat people or the things that we say that our kids can hear, which are not helpful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I love the ability to remove yourself and put the child first, and recognize that it's not about the adults giving a gift. It's about the adults taking the child to pick a gift and or make a gift. I know for us in my situation, I've always told the kids, you can craft, you can make cards. I will go buy every supply you ever could think of, imagine, or need to do those things. And we really encourage them to make something from the heart as gifts to give when it comes to the other house. And we do it that way because in our house, my husband and I take responsibility for taking all of the kids to go shop for one another on birthdays and Mother's Day, Father's Day, those special holidays. And that may not always be done in their other homes. And we recognize that, and we don't want the child to suffer or be punished for that. And they still want to celebrate their other parents or bio moms specifically to Mother's Day. So we follow kind of that same line of thinking. And that is what I share with my clients and suggest to them as well.
Yeah, and one more thing there is, like, I understand there's a lot of situations that are super high conflict, and you know, the very last thing on the planet that you want to do is help your stepchild, you know, create something for their mom when all they do is, you know, be disruptive to your life. But again, you know, if you can take all of that out of it and remember, like, this child loves their parent no matter what, and that's, you know, what it's about, and you're supporting the child. Take everything out of it, because I have spoken to people before who have spoken of that, of, you know, well, why would I want to help my 4-year-old, stepchild make a card when she's nothing but a, you know what? Well, because at the end of the day, that child loves their parent, and, we need to support them through that. So I think that's just something to keep in mind.
I think another thing that we can think about too is taking that a step further is, we're our kids' role models for how they treat everybody in their family. So if we can, even if it's a contentious relationship with your ex, that is still your child's bio parent. That, at one point in time you did have some sort of a relationship together. So you're just showing that little bit of respect, that little bit of appreciation. What is that model for your kids? And that's something I always work with my couples is you have to remember, dads, you are modeling what a good husband and father looks like. Moms, you're modeling that mom and wife, how does that look? So what do we want to model for our kids for them to take into their future relationships? And that's a lot. It's hard when you're angry at that other person and you don't even want to talk to them. So now we have to be nice. But what are we teaching our kids? We always have to kind of take that step back and think, this isn't about me, this is about them. What do I want them to learn? Those teachable moments, which is something I tend to focus on a lot for our parents.
That's important. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, how have you worked with clients navigating the feelings that we can have as adults of I'm giving, and I'm doing, and I'm filling the role of mom part of the time. But then Mother's Day, traditionally, the child isn't with stepmom, child's typically with bio mom. How do we reconcile that? How do we help others reconcile that and accept it for what it is without it becoming hurt feelings and negative perspectives and that being taken out on the children, which can so often happen?
Yeah, I think, we have to remember in this situation particularly, which can be so tricky, is remembering the kids and how difficult it can be for a child. Especially a child who hasn't been given permission by their bio parent to have a relationship with their step parent, and which makes Mother's Day extremely difficult. They may want to call their stepmom or make a card or make a craft or whatever, but may worry about hurting their biological mother's feelings, and ultimately they're going to be loyal to their bio parent, which is understandable. So in some ways, sometimes it's another one of those things where it's a hard pill to swallow, but we have to realize, the difficult position that the child is in, and take it for what it is, and understand that, the next time that they're visiting with us, maybe we can have a special dinner or something. And again, that also falls back on your partner, right? Like, maybe your partner can sit with the child and make a card or do something special. It's not just solely on the kids' shoulders to, be doing something for their stepmom, and talking to your partner about your feelings around that, and feeling like, I do a lot of the mom things, but I don't get the recognition that I necessarily feel I am entitled to. And just having a conversation around that without attacking.
Yes. And I think along the attacking lines, I think it's important to note that, when a stepmom is expressing that she does the mom things, quote unquote, but doesn't get the benefit, that's not an attack on the bio mom. And that's not trying to take something away from bio mom. That's just the reality that within one home, there's a family unit, and then there's a separate family unit in another home. And within that family unit, you fill a role. Everybody fills a role. And for moms, you typically pick up the, scheduling and the running the kids around and the coordinating and keeping the family running and operational. And not to say it's the same in every home or that it's always that traditional model, but that tends to be the majority that we hear from. But it's never, from the stepmom's perspective, that's not meant as a slight at bio mom or to take away from bio mom. And I think the more that we can, get bio mom and stepmom understanding each other and working together. That's for the benefit of the children. And I know we talked about that in an earlier episode, but I think when it comes to Mother's Day, that plays a huge part, because I've heard a lot of, well, she's not their mom. And it's like, you're right, she's not, but she is their stepmom. And that is still a motherly role. And that should be recognized as well.
Yeah, like sorry, go ahead, Amy.
Oh, that's okay. I was just going to jump in and say, part of that then, if we can build gratitude, because really that's what Mother's Day and Father's Day is all about, is saying thanks for everything that you do. Well, let's build gratitude into every day, into the little things like, hey, thanks for packing my lunch. Hey, thanks for helping me learn how to wash my clothes. When we start putting thank you in everyday language in the house, then you're feeling that appreciation. So you don't necessarily need the Hallmark card. You can, because you know that these kids do appreciate you for all the little things. But that comes from, again, parenting and role modeling. That comes from making sure the gratitude just happens. In my family, when I was growing up, we heard please and thank you all the time. And so we just grew up using that, and even little things like Dad would make Mom a cup of coffee and she'd be like, hey, thanks for doing that for me. If you build that into your kids will then do that with their step parents when those opportunities happen. So then you don't need the big flowers and or the whatevers on Mother's Day and Father's Day, because you already know that the kids appreciate you. So that goes back to that family foundational stuff that we can implant any time of the year. It doesn't have to be just on a holiday.
Yeah, that's so important. So important. And just good life skills for our children, to your point about modeling. I mean, these are things that they can carry with them in a multitude of relationships, not just with a step parent or a bio parent. Amelia, did you have something that you were going to add?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to, and I think we spoke about this in an earlier episode too, was just, finding ways for moms and stepmoms to just really connect and understand each other, and so that bio mom can understand that no one's trying to take her place, no one's trying to diminish her role in her child's life. We simply just we're the moms in our home, and we're just doing our jobs in our own home, and if we can get moms and bio moms on the same page, and bio moms to understand, like, hey, this is actually really great that my child has a mother role, a mother figure in that other house, just as a dad and a stepdad should be understanding of, great, my child has a stepdad in the other house, a male role model in the other home. Rather than, society likes to pit everybody against each other. And, the more educating that we can do and understanding of one another, I think, will move us in that direction.
Absolutely. All such valid points. I don't think we have anything else, do we, ladies?
No.
Wonderful. Well, for those of you tuned in today, thank you for joining us. We hope this conversation has been helpful and enlightening. And we're here every Saturday for Stepfamily Saturday conversations. So we hope you will continue to join us. If you have topics or questions that you'd like to hear us answer or talk about, please feel free to reach out. You can do that through Facebook and Instagram at Stepfamily Guides, or you can reach out to us through our website at stepfamilyguides.com. And we hope you have a beautiful day.